So next I'm going to go over the demo 3 error type, which is similar to your problem 3. And as you know, the demo 2 is really just the same as demo 1. So demo 4 power, demo 3 error type, we're asked to A, write the hypotheses, B, write the researcher's conclusion and the real life situation, C, determine the error type, type 1, type 2, or no error. And that's all. And so watch this video before you begin the problem. So the question is this: do schools with longer resource periods have fewer behavior problems than schools in general? Our research hypothesis then is that schools with longer recess periods will have fewer behavior problems than schools in general. Or we could do that shortcut. Remember, we want to use this now, which would be H1. The mu for 1 will be less than the mu for population 2. So that's the shortcut way to do it. You can use, if you're going by hand, you would write the symbol in there. Our null hypothesis then will be just the same. Let's get a copy paste on this. I'll go up here in the formula bar to do that. Copy paste, and I'm going to just add this word not. And I'm going to change in this formula that less than sign to an equal sign. These two populations aren't different. So now let's go ahead and write out some things. So first off, we are always contrasting the real life situation, the actual situation, with what the decision is. All right, so first off, let's say the decision is to reject HO, conclude that H1 is true, and H1 actually is true. Well, to me, this sounds like no error. And we'll conclude that researchers' conclusion is that schools with longer recess periods have fewer behavior problems. And the real life situation is that schools with, well, we can copy and paste it because it's the very same thing. Schools with longer resources have fewer behavior problems. In fact, we can copy it right from our hypotheses if we want to. So there we go. Those two things are identical, and so there's no error. This is a true positive. All right, next one. If H1 is actually false, but the researchers reject HO and conclude that it's true, we can certainly see that we have an error. So what does the researchers conclude? They conclude that H1 was true. This, schools with longer resource problems have fewer behavior problems. Let's copy this. Put it right up here. And the real life situation is that it's false. Actually, schools with longer resource periods do not have fewer behavior problems. And so this is a type 1 error, a false positive. All right, next, we have a situation where H1 actually is true. Schools with longer recess periods have fewer behavior problems, but the researcher concluded that it was false. And so in this case, we do have a discrepancy. We have this as the real life situation. Double clicking in there, and we'll paste it in. And in reality, the researchers concluded that the null was accurate, so we'll copy this in. So in this case, we can definitely see that we have an inconsistency. What type of inconsistency? It's a type 2 inconsistency, or a false negative. And in this last situation, we have discovered that in real life, the null hypothesis is false, and in this situation, that's the conclusion the researchers drew. So in this case, we copy this null hypothesis for the researcher's conclusion, and we copy the null hypothesis for the real life situation, and we discover that the error type is no error, and it is a true negative. So this is how these types of problems are done. I don't think you need a demo of more of these. Hopefully that's enough and is helpful to you.